Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going on a bit of an inner journey, and our guide is the incredible wisdom of Dr. Ahmed Totonji. We're going to dive deep into his book, Lessons from My Life, to tackle one of the biggest questions we all face. How do we actually close that gap between what we say we believe and what we do every single day?
Now, before we jump in, I want to mention that this presentation comes to us as a gift. It's a tribute from Professor Dr. Salah Abdelsami Abdelrazek El-Sadiq, who is a professor of curricula and teaching methods and the general supervisor of the International Educational Forum. It's his way of honoring the author, Dr. Ahmed Totonji, and the incredible impact of his work.
So, let's kick things off with a question that gets right to the heart of everything Dr. Totonji talks about. I mean, really, think about it. Is it enough to study sacred texts, to know them cover to cover for years and years, if all that knowledge doesn't actually change how you feel and how you act? That right there, that's the core challenge we're looking at today.
So, here's our roadmap for this journey. First, we'll get an introduction to the book's main idea. Then, we'll explore this fascinating concept of an inner compass, or self-supervision. After that, we'll look at making the jump from theory to practice, see why faith is a continuous journey, and finally, we'll wrap up with why all of this really matters.
All right, so first up, let's get our bearings. What's the foundational idea that shapes all of these lessons from my life?
The wisdom we're about to unpack comes straight from Dr. Ahmed Totonji himself. And this isn't just some dusty academic theory. This is the real deal, wisdom that was forged in the fire of actual lived experience, deep observation, and a whole lot of reflection on what it means to be human.
And this quote, wow, this is pretty much the cornerstone of the entire book. What Dr. Totonji is saying here is that you don't really understand something like piety just by reading a definition. No, you get to know it, you feel it when you see it in action, in the messy, beautiful, real-world choices people make every day. This brings us to one of the book's most powerful concepts. It's this idea of an internal guide, kind of like an inner compass that helps steer us, especially when nobody else is around to see what we're doing. It's a concept called self-supervision. So what is that exactly? Well, it's the practice of being your own monitor, your own referee. It means holding yourself to the very same standard in private that you would if you were on a stage with the whole world watching. It's all about integrity from the inside out, not because of outside pressure. So you might be wondering, what's the motivation for this? Well, the author suggests that the real accountability isn't to other people. Their judgment comes and goes. The ultimate accountability is to a divine presence that sees everything, always. So how does this play out in our day-to-day lives? It's simple, really. It means you actively choose not to do things in secret that would embarrass you if they came out in the open. Your actions are driven by your own solid internal code of ethics, not by the fear of just getting caught. And this powerful idea of an inner compass leads us straight into the book's central mission. How do we build a bridge over that huge, and let's be honest, often difficult gap between knowing the right thing and actually doing the right thing? This slide just lays it out so clearly, doesn't it? On one side, you've got abstract knowledge. You could spend, as the author says, half a century studying something without it ever really sinking in. And on the other side, you've got effective action, where those values you learned about become the very fabric of your daily life. So here's the bottom line. Dr. Totonji's point is that the real value of a sacred text like the Quran isn't just about its history or its beautiful language. Its true power is unleashed when it becomes an effective, practical guide for living a better, more meaningful life right now. And that leads us perfectly into our next big idea. This concept that faith isn't some kind of finish line you cross. It's not a destination. It's a path that you're always walking. See, according to the book, faith is a living, breathing part of you. It's not a switch that's either on or off. It's much more like a plant in a garden. You have to nurture it, you have to tend to it, and you have to consciously take care of it if you want it to grow, to flourish, and eventually to bear fruit in your life. So how do you actually do that? Well, the book lays out a really clear 3-step practice. First, you've got to constantly monitor the state of your faith. Just check in with yourself. Is it growing? Is it fading? Second, hold yourself accountable when you fall short. We all do. And third, you have to actively protect your own dignity and morals. It's this ongoing cycle of awareness and effort. Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. We've talked about lived knowledge, that inner compass, and faith as this constant journey. What's the big takeaway? In our crazy, busy modern world, why does any of this really, truly matter? This journey through Dr. Totonji's work leaves us with some absolutely essential truths. That real knowledge isn't what you know, it's what you do. That your true character is defined by your actions when no one is watching. And that a strong faith isn't an accident, it's built through conscious, consistent effort. The whole goal, really, is to finally close that gap between our ideals and our reality. And so we're going to end by turning the question right back to you. The book is called Lessons from My Life, and that's a prompt for every single one of us. So take a second to reflect on your own journey, your own experiences. What is the single most important lesson that life has taught you so far?